Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel, to all of my videos on INFJs. I've done about 100 now, which is crazy. I've been doing them because as I realized that I'm an INFJ and I realized that I'm circumnavigating this world really poorly, I thought that I'd do these videos for newer INFJs who are just discovering that they're INFJs and they're thinking to themselves, I'm not insane. I'm not alone. There are others like me. Today's video is going to be all about the fact that INFJs speak in abstract terms. We have a different kind of language, a different kind of thinking as well. We don't think logically. We don't think as sensors do. I don't know how to give you an example about this. For example, when I'm walking through this world, when I'm walking around, looking at everything, doing my thing in my head, I look at different things from other people around me. So I'll be walking with someone perhaps, very rarely, but I do that. I have friends, I promise. And so I have people around me and, I'm like, oh my God, look at that spider web. Do you see that? It's glowing in the darkness or it's beautifully shining in the sunlight. Look at it, and there's a little baby spider, and there's a big spider, and then that's a family, or whatever it might be, right? And I'm talking to them about this, and they're looking at me like I'm insane, of course, because I notice a spider web when there's so much activity going on around me. They ask me, how did you even notice the spider web? It's first of all, it's invisible, and second of all, look at all the stuff going on around you. Why aren't you noticing that? It's because we spend a lot of our times in abstraction. We don't actually really think in sensor ways. We don't think, okay, this is how it happened, and then this will happen after that, and that'll happen. We jump ahead 10 steps, and we think, oh, I love candy. You know what? Is there candy on Mars? Or we'll jump to some random idea about quantum physics and energy and how candy has energy, and you're like, blah, blah, blah. I can't even talk about it because it's hard to talk about this stuff just randomly. It happens in my head, but when I actually try to talk about it out loud, it seems like I'm talking gibberish, right? And so we think in that way, we speak in that way, we live in a very abstract way. And that's the reason I find that a lot of INFJs, I've kind of gotten over it myself because I schedule in everything. So I schedule in my rent payments, I schedule in when I'm supposed to get a massage, I schedule in when I'm supposed to eat my meals. That's how I live in this real world. Because if I didn't do that, I would forget everything. I would spend so much time in my head doing all of the different things that I do, thinking about this, thinking about that, quantum physics, spirituality, holographic universe, all this delicious stuff that I want to think about, that I forget that it's the 9th of January and I have to pay my rent. Or I'd forget that, I have to eat food because I'm a human being. Or I'd forget that I have people that love me and want to hear from me and that I should call them. I forget all of that stuff unless I schedule it in, right? Because we spend so much time in abstract concepts in our head, in our speaking, a lot of times people, when they're with us and we're speaking to them, they're completely lost. They have no idea what we're talking about. A lot of times I'll be sitting there and thinking to myself, okay, Shikha, really slow down because you're talking about stuff that, first of all, these people have never thought about. Second of all, you are jumping from concept to concept because it makes logical sense in your head, but it does not make or will not make sense to anyone else who's listening to you. Really, it will not, unless I sit down and explain it to them, right? So I really have to stop myself and pull myself back and say, okay, stop it now, stop it. You are going to lose these people, not only as friends, but also you're going to lose them in this conversation. And conversation is all about give and take. Now, I know that I get annoyed myself when people are not keeping up with me. I think to myself, but this is easy stuff. Come on, people. But it's not the truth, guys. And you know it. We think in a different way. We actually work faster. And our brains work in a very different way. And sometimes they work faster than people around us. It does not mean that people around us are stupid and should not be given a chance. It's just that we need to slow down a little bit. We need to kind of explain ourselves a little bit. We need to explain how we jumped from chocolate to Mars. Mars bar, maybe? So how did that happen? Explain yourself to people. Just because you think in abstract terms, just because we walk around and look at the world in abstract terms, doesn't mean that we cannot have a relationship or a conversation with people who don't. Right? We can, we just have to slow down a little bit and explain ourselves. Now, if you're having a conversation with someone who thinks in abstract terms, Oh my God, it's like fireworks. I don't care what the person looks like. I don't care where they are from. I don't care how old they are. I don't care which century they're from. If I can have a conversation in abstract terms with you, oh my God, I am in heaven. In heaven. I think that's one of my main things that I look for in a guy, is that I need to have really random abstract conversations with him, and he has to be able to keep up with me. He has to be able to keep up with my random craziness, right? In so many different ways. And so that's one of our things, one of our qualities. Now, a lot of you have messaged me and said, I really feel uncomfortable because I haven't been able to explain myself to people and I feel alone. I totally get it. From the longest time when I was a child, I'd be thinking about all these things that no one was thinking about. I've spoken about this in the previous video. When I was about 10 or maybe 9 or 8, something like that, when I was young, I started thinking about death. A lot about death. I was thinking about death all the time. Not only about the death of myself, I didn't really care that much, but a death of myself. My death, but also death of my parents, death of my siblings, death of my grandparents, just death in general. I started thinking a lot about it, and I started analyzing it and thinking to myself, okay, how does death affect me? If my parents died, what would happen? If my siblings died, what would happen? If my grandparents died, what happens? If this person dies, if the president dies, blah, blah. I started kind of doing all these abstract kind of thought experiments in my head. And I was 10. I was very young. And that's when it all began, the madness. Right? And I do that still. I have all these random thought experiments in my head. I'll be walking around thinking to myself, what if this person walked up to me today, right now? What would I do? How would I deal with it? What if my ex called me? So all of that random stuff goes through my head all the time, and I'm kind of experimenting with, playing with it. That's how I play in my head. But it's all very abstract, right? Because it's not real concepts. I'll give you an example of something that I'm really kind of playing with right now, which I love this concept. I'm loving it. I talk about it to myself in the shower. Thank God I live on my own. Seriously, people would think I'm insane. Thankfully, I live on my own. Hopefully no one can hear me. So what I've been thinking about is stacking of life experiences. Now I'll explain it to you. I'm just going to take a minute. I think, in my head, that everything is stacking upon each other like a brick. So the reason you went to university in Chicago is because you were supposed to meet someone that was supposed to get you to Thailand somehow. Everything stacks upon each other. So when you think that something random is happening, it's not random. It's happening because it's supposed to stack upon something else that is supposed to take you somewhere else, that is supposed to take you some other place, and that's supposed to take you some other place. Do you know what I'm saying? Nothing is random. Nothing is happening without a purpose. Everything is stacking upon each other so that you can be where you are right now. And there is no end to this. Even your death is stacking upon something so you can get to another life. Do you know what I'm saying? So everything is stacking like a brick. And so everything that's happening in your life right now, you can, in hindsight, obviously, go back and say, okay, this is why it happened. So this could happen, so this could happen, so this could happen, so I could be here. Do you know what I'm saying? I quit my job so I could start my own business, so I could move to Chiang Mai, so I could move here, so I could start my blog, so I could do this YouTube channel, so I could be here. Do you know what I'm saying? It all stacks upon each other. Now, this is a very abstract concept, but in my head, it makes very logical sense. I can see it as an image in my head so clearly, more clearly than I can see the people around me, more clearly than this room that's around me. I can clearly see this image. And if you ask me a question about it, I'll be able to explain it to you in very abstract terms, but I'll be able to explain it to you. Now, this is one concept that I've been thinking about. But it's just one of many that is kind of playing in my head. But that's what we do. We love this kind of abstract concept stuff because I feel in my head, or for myself, I love abstraction because there is so much freedom in it. It's like there are no limits. You can think of anything. That's the reason I love writing science fiction as well, because there are no limits. I can make the sky pink if I want to. I can make the people have no eyes if I want to. I can make the water be alcoholic if I want to. I can do whatever the hell I want. There are no limits to writing a science fiction novel because you're in an entirely different world if that's how you're writing it. Even in this world, if you're writing about Earth, you need to have no limits at all. You could have a place where Red Bulls come out of yonder and start running at you. there are no limits. You can make it whatever the hell you want it to be. That's why I love being a writer, because again, there are no limits. I think that's a reason we love abstract concept, abstraction, abstract conversations, because we can literally be transported to a different dimension and transversing the entire universe and all the parallel universes just through our conversation. We don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to travel anywhere. I can travel to the bowels of the earth. I can travel to the deepest of oceans. I can travel to Mars, to Jupiter, to Orion, the Orion's belt. I can do whatever the hell I want in my head through my imagination, through these abstract conversations. There are no limits, and that fascinates me, and I love that. I think that's the reason we love abstract concepts, because also a lot of us are very lonely. Alone, not lonely. I'm not lonely, but I am alone a lot of the times. And we spend a lot of time on our own, so we need to do this in order to entertain ourselves, perhaps. Also, we love doing it. I love it. I'd rather spend my Saturday night at home thinking about these concepts, than go out and deal with people who I really don't care about that much. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope this makes sense. This is already a very long video. So let me know what you guys think about it. What do you guys think about it? What kind of abstract conversation are you having with yourself right now? What kind of abstract terms or concepts are you dealing with right now? I'd love to hear about it. I love this stuff. All right, I think you get it. I hope that you guys have an amazing day wherever you are. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you guys have any suggestions at all, even though my list is about 300 items long, that's all right. I am always adding to it. So let me know, and I will speak about some concept that you're interested in learning or me speaking on. Okay? I'll see you guys next time around. Bye for now.